Hello, this is old Mr. Kent of MrKent.com, and it's sometime after 3 o'clock in the afternoon when all the kids get out of school, and that's when we start seeing a bunch of dirt bikers riding up and down the dirt road that runs along to next to the canal and next to our where we live. And so, I had a video I put up a while back. It was called Chasing Dirt Bikers. And I thought, well, I'll go fly my drone and see if there's any dirt bikers. Once they get out of school, then they come flying down here. Oh, I don't know, 40, 50 miles an hour on the dirt road. And by the way, when I flew this flight, we had just had a little bit of rain. So there was puddles and some mud spots and stuff like that along here. But I thought I would go up here to where they come from up this direction somewhere, and one had already gone by, headed past our house from this direction, so I thought, well, maybe there's going to be more. So while I'm looking for those guys, I'm going to go ahead and tell you some stories about the summer that I worked in California after my freshman year. And looks like, this is where I turned around because a guy came by our house. The guy that had gone by earlier, he came back the other direction, and you can see him coming along on the path there, a little white spot. So I thought, well, I'll follow him to see where he goes. So anyway, I worked in California during the summer after my freshman year at a place called GoPower. If you check my latest videos, I told a little bit about that. One of the jobs that I had working they made hop-up parts for go-karts. One of the jobs that I had was to go on Tuesdays to go to the dump and dump the garbage. And they had a truck for that. And then you had to have a California license to get into the dump. And I didn't have one, but they happened to have some. This was before the days when your license had pictures on it, and this was before they were even put in plastic. If you wanted yours in plastic, you did it yourself. So anyway, it was some guy, I don't remember his name, but that no longer existed, or who he renewed his license and then he kept the old one. I don't know. So they gave me that, and they said you just show that when you go into the dump, and they'll let you in. And so that's what I did on Tuesdays, and so I had that license in my wallet so that I could get into the dump. Well, along somewhere in the middle of the summer, my cousin Chester and we went to a little motorcycle shop, and they had this Italian bike called a Garelli Mosquito. It was 60 cc, I'm sorry. And a real small bike, but I think they only wanted $125 for it. By the way, that summer I made $1.50 an hour, which was the going wage for for that kind of work that I did. And so, and by the way, this guy stopped for some reason. I think he's waiting for his friends to show up because they usually ride in groups. So you'll see pretty soon he takes off and goes someplace else, and there he goes. So anyway, we'll follow him a little ways. So we went to the motorcycle shop. I had money collected after working for several weeks, and I bought that motorcycle for $150 or $125. It had been run over by a car, but was fixed up and ran fine. So now I had a motorcycle, and the first time I took it out, and it was in the evening, and the sun was setting, and I just wanted to go for a ride on it, and it had a choke on it, manual choke that you pulled up, and then it put more fuel into the carburetor, and then when you got it warmed up and riding it, well, then you could push down on the little knob, and it would run normally. And so, but I had not paid attention to whether it was supposed to be up or down. And so I'm riding along, and I was I was riding along, looking down, and looking at trying to find where the choke was down there by the motor, and I'm looking up and looking down, And as it turned out, while I was looking down, I went through a stop sign. And by the way, this was before the days when you had a mirror on your motorcycle, you know. So anyway, a siren comes up behind me, and I look around, and he's pulling me over. He saw me go through the stop sign. So I pull over and stop and get off the bike, and he says, "Can I see your driver's license?" Well, and it was dark enough that he had a flashlight to shine on my wallet as I flipped through all the things in my wallet. And as I came by the California license, he said, "There it is." And I said, "No, that's not it." And I kept going through. I didn't even stop. And I got to the Washington State license, which was where I was from, and that was my driver's license with my name on it. And so, by the way, the guy went on his way, I guess, so we're going to wait for the other guys to show up for a few minutes here. Anyway, so I showed him my Washington driver's license, and he said, "Okay, well, you know, you're going to kill yourself on that motorcycle if you go through stop signs." And I said, "Yeah, I just got it," and that was the day I'd gotten it, and I was just looking for where the choke was, and I'm still learning about it, and but I will be more careful from now on. And so he told me, "Go ahead, go on your way." By the way, this was before the days of a crash helmet, but eventually I did get one, and I rode that motorcycle. Now, my folks had a friend who got killed on a motorcycle, so when they found out I had it, they said, "No son of ours is going to own a motorcycle. And if you keep that motorcycle, we're not going to pay your way to college." Well, I'm sorry to say, but I already had the bug. And by that time, after my first year of college, I knew the ropes, and I understood a lot more than when I first signed up. And so I said to myself, "You know what? I bet you I can find a job and work my way through college without my folks' help." And so that's how it went. I took the motorcycle. I shipped it up to Washington, which cost $200. Yeah, I was tempted to ride it, but it's a good thing I didn't. So I shipped it up to Washington, and when school started, I took it up to the school, and I went up to the dean's office, dean of men, and I said, "I need some help finding a job." And he says, "I'll give you some advice that you'll remember for the rest of your life." And I said, "Okay." And he said, "Seek, and ye shall find." I thought maybe he knew where there was a job on campus or something, but it wasn't. So as it turned out, I worked for the food service, and I've got more stories about that, but we won't go there now. Yeah, I worked for the food service, and then I worked for the janitor, and I also worked for the audiovisual department, which back in those days was carrying a projector and a screen and the film to the class where they needed to show the film. This was back in the days before any kind of digital stuff. And so I made $1 an hour showing films. I made $1 an hour working for the janitor, and then I got all the food I wanted for free. And as it turned out, I was very, very happy going to college, and I sat through a whole bunch of psychology classes waiting to show a 20-minute film. So I could actually say I have a minor degree in psychology, because in the 5 years that it took me to go through college, I sat through hundreds of psychology classes, because they were about the only ones who showed movies or videos or what do you want, films. So anyway, as we back out of here and I head home because nobody showed up to go riding, I want to say thank you so much for watching my videos, and God bless.